Welcome back to Reddit Echoes, where the stories are real, the drama is heavy, and the chaos, well, that part never disappoints. Today we're diving into some of the wildest posts the internet has produced. People destroying their own lives with chewing gum, jealous boyfriends picking fights with video game characters, relationships falling apart, weddings blowing up over pride and ego money disappearing into addiction, and one guy who learned the hard way that looking for a traditional woman overseas isn't the love story he thought it'd be. So sit back, relax, and let's step into another round of unbelievable human decisions straight from the depths of Reddit. Story 1. Am I the a-hole? The chewing gum earplug disaster. I started a factory job back in November of 2024. It was a pretty remote place, the kind of job where people show up, do their shifts, and don't think too much about things like long-term hearing protection. But I always took that part seriously. I wore my own earmuffs, my own earplugs every single day without fail. Honestly, I probably looked like the paranoid guy of the crew, but at least my ears were safe. One morning, though, my earplug delivery never arrived because of a postal strike, and I didn't want to take a day off. The noise levels in that factory have always made me nervous, so skipping earplugs wasn't an option. That's when I made quite possibly the stupidest decision of my adult life. I grabbed a piece of chewing gum, chewed it soft, rolled it up, and stuffed it into my ears like a homemade plug-and-play solution. It felt ridiculous even as I did it, but I convinced myself it was better than nothing. For a while, it actually worked. Too well, in fact. 8 hours later, when my shift ended, I realized the gum had gotten pushed deeper inside my ear canal. I tried to pull it out, twist it out, nothing. That thing was stuck like it signed a lease. Eventually, I had to drag myself to the hospital, already imagining the lecture I was about to get. The doctor didn't disappoint. He pulled the gum out, shaking his head like he was removing a dead mouse from a drain. Then he told me I had a lot of earwax built up, and without asking, just decided to scrape out the wax from my right ear. He didn't explain why. He didn't ask if I was okay with it. He just went for it. When he tried to move to the other ear, I finally stopped him. I left with my ear feeling raw, irritated, and honestly a little violated. But I figured it was just temporary discomfort. No big deal. 2 days later, still without proper earplugs, I went to work again wearing only my earmuffs. I told myself they'd be enough. I shouldn't have. A day or two after that, my right ear, the same ear that doctor scraped, started ringing. At first it was faint like a soft hiss. Then it grew into this constant electric buzz I couldn't escape. And suddenly everything sounded too loud. Way too loud. Even normal sounds felt like sharp needles in my ear. I realized I wasn't just dealing with a little irritation. Something was seriously wrong. And of course it was only happening in the ear the doctor cleaned. That's when the panic hit. I couldn't work around machinery anymore. I couldn't even handle conversations without wincing. My entire job relied on me being able to handle noisy environments, and now I couldn't even tolerate the sound of my own footsteps. I kept trying to figure out what caused this. Was the factory louder than usual that day? Were my earmuffs not enough without the earplugs underneath? Or did the doctor scraping out my earwax actually expose my eardrum to levels of sound it hadn't been used to for years? Maybe decades. The worst part is I can't get a straight answer. And now I don't know who to blame. Do I file a claim with workers' compensation? Do I go after the doctor for doing a procedure I never agreed to? Or is this all somehow my own fault? Because I shoved gum, literally chewing gum into my ear like a complete idiot. I just want to work without feeling like the world is screaming directly into my skull. But right now, I'm stuck wondering who ruined my ear and what I'm supposed to do next. Story 2. Did I ruin my girlfriends? the boyfriend who got jealous of a Stardew Valley husband? Am I the a-hole for demanding my girlfriend divorce her husband in Stardew Valley? I'm a 26-year-old guy, and I've been dating my girlfriend, she's 19, for a little over 2 years. Yeah, I know the age gap already sounds questionable to some people, but trust me, that's not even the weird part of the story. So recently, she started getting really into Stardew Valley. I always thought it was just some cute little farming game where you plant turnips, milk cows, whatever. Nothing serious. I never really paid attention whenever she played because I'm not a gamer myself. But one night I walked past her screen and I noticed something off. There was a random guy inside her in-game house, just standing there, like he lived there. When I asked her who that was, she very casually said, "Oh, that's my roommate." Roommate. In a game where the whole point is living alone on a farm. That already sounded weird, but I let it slide for a moment. Later that night, after she went to sleep, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Something just felt wrong. So I did something I'm not exactly proud of. I logged into her game. I know violation of privacy, whatever, but I needed to know what was going on. And when I talked to the man in her house, the game literally said they were married. Married. Rings, hearts, spouse room, everything. I just froze. It felt like discovering she had a secret second life. Except pixelated. The next morning I confronted her. I told her what I saw, and she rolled her eyes like I was the crazy one. She said, "It's just a game," grabbed her bag, and headed out for work like nothing happened. That's when I lost it a little. I asked her how she could possibly think it's appropriate to build a whole virtual life with another man, NPC or not, while she's in a real relationship with me. She told me I was ridiculous, dramatic, and overthinking things. But the thing is, my friends actually took my side. They said it's emotional cheating even if it's virtual. They said it shows she's fantasizing about life with someone else. And honestly, that made me question everything. I had been planning to propose soon, but after all this, I don't even know anymore. So here I am trying to figure out if I'm actually the crazy one, or if it's normal to expect your girlfriend not to have a whole husband living with her on a digital farm while you're sitting right next to her in the real world. Am I the a-hole for demanding she divorce her in-game husband? Story 3. Did I ruin my girlfriend's life by encouraging her to give up custody of her son? I'm a 32-year-old guy, and I've been dating my girlfriend, she's 28, for a little over 2 years. When we first met, she was a single mom. Her son was 7 at the time. And I knew from the beginning that motherhood wasn't something she ever planned. She had him under circumstances she never really wanted to talk about, and she always felt trapped by it. That's the word she used. She loved him, but there was a distance. Like she was trying to convince herself that she was built for motherhood, when deep down she felt completely overwhelmed. She'd get home from work exhausted, look at a sink full of dishes, school papers, toys, everywhere, and I could see it in her eyes she was drowning. As our relationship got more serious, she started opening up more. She told me she wanted a fresh start, a life where she could finally breathe. She felt guilty for even thinking that, but she also admitted that raising her son alone had taken a huge toll on her mentally, financially, emotionally, everything. And I wanted to help. I thought I was helping. I told her she didn't have to force herself into a life that made her miserable, that there were other options. Her ex had always wanted more involvement anyway. Her mom took care of the kid more than half the time because of her job schedule. I didn't tell her what to do, I just told her what she could do. She cried about it many nights, but slowly, over months, she started considering the idea more seriously. She kept saying she wasn't meant to be a mother, that maybe the best thing for her son was a stable home with someone who didn't feel like they were suffocating. And after months of hesitation, guilt, and emotional agony, she finally made the decision. She gave full custody to her ex. She packed up her life. She moved to a new city with me. And when it was all over, she said she felt relieved, like a weight had been lifted off her shoulders for the first time in years. But that relief didn't last long. When her family found out, they tore into her. They called her selfish, heartless, a monster. And they blamed me for whispering in her ear and manipulating her. They said I encouraged her to abandon her child just so we could live some fantasy life together. Then, a few weeks later, her son called her. He was crying, asking why she wasn't there anymore, asking if he'd done something wrong. I watched her break in real time. She hung up the phone and just collapsed, sobbing like she was made of glass. She kept repeating, "What have I done? What did I do?" And I felt sick. Because I realized I hadn't been neutral. I hadn't been passive. I did encourage her. Not intentionally, not maliciously, but I still pushed her towards something she wasn't thinking clearly about. Something that changed both of their lives forever. We read comments online together, and seeing strangers spell it out made everything hit even harder. I finally admitted it. I was the one who fed her the idea. I gave her the blueprint for escape, and she followed it. She called her ex and her son again today. She apologized. She told them she regrets everything. She's going to keep calling her son every day, and as soon as she finishes helping set up the new branch for her job, she plans to move back. I told her I'd move back with her. Whatever she decides, I'll follow. She's looking for a therapist now. And honestly, I probably should too. I thought I was helping her find peace. But all I did was help her run away from the one person who needed her the most. And now I can't stop wondering, did I ruin her life worse? Did I ruin her son's no technical cues, no sound effects, just a continuous human-style story? Story 4. Am I the a-hole for banning my brother's girlfriend from my wedding? I know the title sounds terrible. Trust me when I say it out loud, even I cringe a little. But here's what happened from my side of things. I'm 30, recently engaged, and right now most of my life revolves around wedding planning. My younger brother is 25, and for the last year he's been dating this girl. She's American-born, but her parents are Indian. And honestly, she's a sweet person. I never had a problem with her. Her parents, on the other hand, that's a different story. From day one, they refused to accept my brother. Not because he's rude, not because he treats her badly, just because he's white. They've excluded him from family gatherings, pretended he doesn't exist, and made it very clear he's not the right kind of man for their daughter. My brother kept trying to win them over, bringing gifts, being respectful, offering to help out, but nothing changed. They shut him out every chance they got. And watching that happen started eating at me. My brother is one of the kindest people I know. He doesn't deserve to be treated like a stray dog sniffing around their backyard. I felt protective not just as a sibling, but as someone who's seen how much effort he puts into every relationship he cares about. So when my fiancé and I started finalizing our wedding guest list, I made a decision that at the time felt righteous, fair, maybe even noble. I told myself, if her family won't accept my brother, then I won't accept her. I talked it over with my fiancé and she agreed with me. We thought it showed solidarity, like we were standing up for my brother in some symbolic way. So I reached out to my brother's girlfriend and asked her to meet with me. She showed up all cheerful, probably thinking I wanted to talk about seating arrangements or something wedding-related. I sat her down and I told her straight-faced that she wasn't invited to the wedding. Not because of anything she did, but because of how her parents treated my brother. I even told her that she'd be banned from future family events until her parents started treating my brother with respect. I literally said, if they don't want my brother, we don't want you. The moment the words left my mouth, I felt this tightness in my stomach. But I pushed past it. She didn't argue. She didn't yell. She just went quiet. Really quiet. Her face fell in a way I still can't shake from my memory. And then she left. And that's when everything exploded. My brother confronted me, furious, hurt, completely blindsided. He told me I humiliated someone he loves. That I made a decision on his behalf without even talking to him first. He said he didn't need me defending him by punishing the wrong person. Half my family took his side. The other half backed me, calling it standing up for family. The whole thing became this giant mess. And suddenly I wasn't sure anymore whether I'd done something noble or something incredibly stupid. Here's the part that hit me hardest. His girlfriend never agreed with her parents' beliefs. She never treated my brother badly. She never asked anyone to choose sides. She was just stuck between a boyfriend she cared about and parents who refused to evolve with the rest of the world. And I punished her for their prejudice. I thought I was protecting my brother, but really, I might have just pushed him away and hurt someone who didn't deserve it. So now I'm sitting here wondering, was I trying to defend my brother? Or was I just projecting my own anger, and did I become the hole that I thought I was fighting against? Story 5. I spent my girlfriend's $60,000 compensation on cocaine. And now, I don't know how to tell her. I'm 28, and I've been a chef for most of my adult life. 3 years ago, during a brutal stretch of double shifts, late nights, and constant pressure, I fell into something I never thought would control me: cocaine. At first, it was just a little bump to get through an exhausting night service. Then it was to get through lunch service, too. And then, it was just to get through life. I've been with my girlfriend for 5 years. She's always been supportive, patient, way more understanding than I deserve. 4 years ago, her dad died in an accident, a horrible, senseless accident. She went through hell, and I tried to be there for her even though I was barely keeping myself together. Months later, she received $60,000 in compensation from the insurance case. It was supposed to be for her future, a safety net, a piece of stability after losing the person who raised her. She told me she wasn't good with money, that she didn't trust herself not to spend it impulsively, so she transferred it into one of my accounts. We never opened a joint one. Our finances had always been easy shared, almost casual. She trusted me completely, and that trust is exactly what I destroyed. Over the next 5 months, almost every pound of that money evaporated into cocaine. Not all at once, but bit by bit. A few hundred here to take the edge off, a few hundred there to make it through a long shift. Nights out with random people I don't remember, packages delivered under stupid names. The money just slipped through my hands, while I kept telling myself I'd pay it back someday. The guilt was there from the beginning. Every single time I bought more, I felt like I was peeling another layer of my soul off. But addiction has this way of convincing you that the next hit will fix everything the previous hit broke. When she asked about the money, I panicked. I told her it was in an ISA, a savings account that locks the funds for 2 years. I even made up interest rates, timelines, all of it. She believed me. She smiled and said, "Good, that means we won't touch it." And hearing that broke me in a way I can't even explain. Because she was talking about her dad's death money. Money meant to give her a second chance at life. And all I'd done was snorted off stainless steel counters in a kitchen where nobody cared if I was falling apart. Now there's maybe a few £100 left. Barely enough for groceries, let alone a future. Every day I wake up knowing that eventually, maybe next month, maybe next year, she's going to want to access that ISA that doesn't exist. And when she does, my entire world is going to fall apart. I don't know how to tell her. I can't even look her in the eyes without feeling like the worst human being on the planet. She trusted me with something sacred, something tied to her father's memory, and I threw it away for a high that doesn't even make me feel good anymore. I feel sick. I feel ashamed. I feel like I've already destroyed everything, and she just doesn't know it yet. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix something this big, and I honestly don't know if I deserve for it to be fixed at all. Story 6. I went to the Philippines to find a traditional woman, and ended up getting robbed twice. I'm 22, I'm from Scotland, and a week ago I flew to a province in the Philippines for the very first time. I had this idea in my head, an embarrassing one now, that I'd meet some sweet traditional Filipina woman and start a new chapter of my life. I'd been watching all those passport bro videos online, the ones that make it sound like dating overseas is a cheat code. I didn't realize at the time how stupid that mindset was. But at first, it all felt incredible. The city was new and exciting, food everywhere, people smiling, sunshine every day. And I actually did go on a few dates. Cute coffee shops, long walks, getting to know the culture. I really thought I was living the dream. But something felt off. I kept noticing Filipino men giving me these looks, hard stares like I'd said something offensive without opening my mouth. Some guys acted aggressive or mocking toward me. I brushed it off, thinking it was just cultural differences, or maybe I was overthinking. Then one afternoon, I met this girl at a coffee shop. She was warm, friendly, easy to talk to. She gave me her number and we planned a date. I took her to Jollibee because everyone kept saying it was iconic, so I figured it would be a fun local experience. We ate fried chicken and burgers, laughed, and everything felt completely normal. Afterward, we went back to my condo. One thing led to another, and we hooked up. I was honestly surprised how fast everything happened, but I wasn't complaining. She stayed for a bit, we talked, it all felt casual and comfortable. But then out of nowhere, 2 Filipino guys walked into my condo. They didn't knock, didn't hesitate. They just came straight in. One of them pushed me against the wall while the other started grabbing my stuff. I tried to fight back, but they beat me down quickly. And the girl I brought home. She ran. She didn't scream, didn't protest. She just bolted out the door, like she knew exactly what was happening. The moment they left, I called the police. They showed up and did absolutely nothing. No report, no investigation, just a shrug and a be careful next time. It made me feel even more helpless. 2 days later, it happened again. I was walking back from a night out tipsy, but not wasted, when 2 guys cornered me and demanded my phone and cash. They took my iPhone and 10,000 pesos, everything I had on me. I went to the police station again and again. They were useless. Just another foreigner who should have known better. At that point, the realization finally hit me like a truck. I wasn't unlucky. I wasn't just in the wrong place at the wrong time. I was being stupid. I came here looking for a traditional woman, whatever that even means. Meanwhile, I was taking girls to fast food dates and hooking up with them on the first night. Nothing about that is traditional. I'd fallen for this fantasy that I'd be treated like some exotic prize, when in reality I was just an easy target with a foreign face and a full wallet in a very poor area. And that girl from the coffee shop, she wasn't some romantic meet cute. She was part of the setup, a lure. Now I'm warning other foreigners who come here with the same mindset I had. You're not special. You're not charmingly international. You're just the easiest guy in the room to rob. I thought I was chasing some dream of a traditional partner, but the truth is, I walked straight into someone else's plan and paid for it twice. And that wraps up today's lineup of questionable choices, messy relationships, and life lessons nobody asked for, but everyone needed to hear. If you enjoyed the ride, make sure to stick around. There's always another story waiting that's even more chaotic than the last one. This is Reddit Echoes. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next story.